In this video, I'm going to teach you 3 cheat codes for better arrangements so you can finish a lot of tracks fast. So by the end of this video, you will learn how to always create hit ideas and eliminate writer's block, never be stuck in the loop again, demystify the arrangement process and make it easy and fun, and make your music sound interesting, authentic, and professional so it captivates the attention of the listener. And let's quickly listen to the track that we're going to be working with. All right, let's talk about number 1, and this is going to be the most important one. Start with the vocal. A vocal is a very appealing instrument for human ears. Tracks with vocals usually get more streams than Spotify. So why start with the vocal? A vocal has the main melody and harmony in it. You only need to add bass and drums, and it will already sound full and good. A vocal has a structure in it: intro, chorus, and verse. It's easy to lay out your arrangement. You start with an idea already, so there's no need to come up with an idea from scratch. And this is a really easy fix to writer's block. So I extracted the acapella from the reference track, and you can already see that like this loop, it's like 16 bars, and we also have the intro. And if you chop it, then it's gonna be like so easy for you to come up with ideas. And if you listen, I don't have any lead sounds. Just listen to the vocal, how it sounds. It's so simple, but so powerful.
We got a certified weapon pointed in my direction. Blinded by my physique. Yeah, we got certified attention. Wants me all in his section. I'ma try my technique. We got a certified weapon pointed in my
Right, and then the same thing we have for the break or for the build. And then I just chopped it. So like you can chop the original vocal and it's going to be like even more interesting, right? What I also noticed when I'm starting a track with the vocal, the instrumental somehow sounds like so good. Like I could easily see this track could get like a million of streams on Spotify with the proper marketing. Just listen to the instrumental. It's also like dope. So the vocal gives you that foundation for your track. Okay, I'm gonna now teach you how to find vocals. I usually find them on like Spotify, YouTube Music. So go to Spotify, maybe Beatport, take a track that you like and extract the vocal. Then you put the vocal into the DAW and then you start a track. So you can go to any like YouTube to MP3 converter, search for the track and download the track. Then you go to the vocal remover and isolate your vocal. So you will now have an acapella that you can work with. The next really important thing is focusing on one idea in your track. A lot of times, like myself, my clients, what I see online with producers, people are trying to compensate for the bad idea with a lot of instruments, a lot of layers. But if you listen to my track, you notice it's super simple. So this is called the Mona Lisa technique. You can watch the full video here. But really simple. When you look at the picture, you will notice foreground, middle ground, and background. Everything has its own purpose, and we can use it in music also. No matter the music you make, you can only have one focus, which is the main idea in the track. Everything else is built around it and supports it, right? So for example, these are going to be the background sounds. So the layers to the bass line, FX, ear candy. And the next one is going to be harmony, or the second most important element could be like chords, second melody, what have you. And then the main theme, this should be the focus. So you really need to focus on that main idea, guys. So keep it simple. You only need kick, bass, drums, vocal, and lead if we are talking about club music, especially house and techno. This is all you need. Focus on getting this one main melodic idea in the track so it sounds perfect. When it sounds perfect, arrangement comes easy. I arranged this full track within like 4 hours, something like that, and I have 30 channels. And it sounds like so simple, but so powerful. So simplicity is the key. Because the vocal sounds like really good on its own, this is why it's so easy for you to make the instrumental. So really quickly, one more time. Really simple, but really, really cool. Okay, now let's talk about the arrangement formula, the superstar arrangement formula. Think of arrangement as a roller coaster. In this example, I mapped out the energy and how it goes through the track, right? So you can see like we'll go up, then we go down, then we go up, down, up, down, up, down. Like think your track is a movie and you are painting with sound. Like be intentional with everything that you are doing, right? So let's, for example, take this first break and how I am transitioning to the verse. We're going to talk about the elements of the track as well. So pay attention to the energy, how we are going up, I'm building tension and then dropping it again, right? This creates open loops, curiosity, and makes the track like more interesting. Right, so the build-up and the break had a little bit more energy and attention, and I didn't transition to the drop. I teased with the lead sound what's gonna come in the drop, right? And then another example, this is where we fully go up, right? Right? So think, again, a roller coaster, be intentional, and really, really try to understand how you can use the sounds that you have to create the emotional roller coaster. Okay, now let's talk about the fundamental arrangement elements in the track really quickly. So any track has an intro. It's a section of the track with drums, sometimes with simplified melody to make it easy for the DJ to mix the track. So even in the reference track, it is also just a beat. Right, so super simple. We're gonna have the intro and we're gonna have the outro. So don't really like overcomplicate it. It's super, super simple. The next one is gonna be verse, aka minimal drop, how I call it. It teases the main idea, sets the tone, and leads into the drop, which in classical terminology is gonna be chorus, right? So with the verse, it's like you already have the kick, the bass, the groove, the track is starting, but you are not giving away all the elements at once, right? So before the drop hits, it's like 2 minutes, but I'm already like at this point, I'm introducing what's gonna be in the track, right? So think like minimal drop. It's like a stripped down version of the main drop or the chorus. Right, so once again, the energy between the drop and the verse, or like the chorus, this is going to be the chorus, is very different. This is the main section. All right, so this is going to be the verse. I think I should make like a full video, but I wanted to touch this briefly. Break build, the most important contrasting part in your track. This is where the energy transitions to the drop. It adds tension to the track and also often introduces new melodic motifs and themes. Think like a pause between like dancing. Like you have the drop and then you want to make people calm down a little bit and then you drop like with the chorus. Think like calm before the storm, right? So again, pay attention to the energy, then we're going to analyze it how I did everything with automations. Just listen how the energy goes and how it transitions to, let's say, if we take this this section, right? So this is one of the examples, and then the main break in the track sounds like this. Again, it's really minimal, but it has that main idea. Like the lead plays, right?
certified weapon pointed in my direction. Blinded by my physique.
Right, so you see how I'm playing with energy, and it is so important to have those contrasts. Like, you don't want to have drop like all the time. It is really like ups and downs, ups and downs. This is what creates curiosity, and this is like what makes tracks more interesting. Okay, now let's talk about the drop. So drop is the main and the most energetic part of your track with all the melodic elements. This is the culmination or the climax of the track. You have to lead into the drop strategically. Drop is not playing all the time, only in certain sections of the track, right? So I gave you a couple of examples. So like, again, the difference between the energy is and I'm only having drop like here and here, and everything else is like it's a verse, so the track should have that contrast in the energy. Okay, so we covered all the elements, like the arrangement elements. Now let's talk about the next thing. Be intentional with energy. Think how you can move the story forward with your track. It's all about the contrast. You need to have highs and lows in your track. I'm going to show you one example, which is going to be super simple. So this is a verse, and this is also a verse, right? The track, like, you are introducing elements one by one as you go through the arrangement, as you continue arranging the track. So for example, like this verse feels really different to this one. This has more energy. Let's have a listen. And then if you listen to this verse, so you are moving forward, again, painting with sound. Think a story with your track. Be intentional with what you are doing. And then again, we have the build, different energy. And then the drop, which you already heard, right? Okay, next one. Each section has sonic diversity, as I've shown you in the track. It doesn't have to be super complicated though. Even subtle changes to the rhythm, melody, or drums will make a difference. A lot of time people overcomplicate tracks trying to add elements to compensate for the lack of the main idea with it. So every section that I've shown you, like, it's still a little bit different. So like the beginning is a little bit more minimal. This verse is a little bit more like energetic, and then we have the drop, right? So think big, think 16 bars, or at least like 8 bars. Every 8 bars, something should happen, and create like longer loops. Again, it depends on the track, but this is, you know, really important to understand. If you are struggling with arrangement, copy a couple of your favorite tracks to understand how they tell a story and work with the energy. See how they take out or add elements and apply same concepts to your music. I copied the track, you can see here, and then I just added my touch to it. We are copying to understand what works and then tweak so it sounds authentic, right? So this is literally the structure from the reference track that I had here, and I copied it, and then I started adding like my twist, my touch to it, so it sounds like a little bit more interesting, a little bit more like authentic, like myself. So copy a couple of tracks and then just like map out every single part of the arrangement, because like, look bro, you have to learn, like you really have to learn. I can give you all the tips, but you have to implement, right? And this is what I did. So I took the main idea and then just added my elements to it. This is something that will really help you to understand the structure so you can come up with your own one. Next one, answer these questions and arrange easily, right? Here I'm going to break this down for you. So when you are adding a sound or you're working with the sounds that you have, ask this question: what, when, and what is the instrument doing? Be intentional with your sounds and structure. Don't just copy paste. It's a story. It's a piece of art. Use timeline to tell a story with your sounds. I want us to break down a couple of examples. So I have like really cool bass layers, and I want you to listen. We're going to loop this section. So we have this little impact sound, this one. This one, it adds power to the drop, right? So if I disable, and then with this one, So I can answer this question. This sound is adding power and impact when we start the drop. Then the Reese bass, this next sound, it is sort of like a little ear candy that helps you to add a little bit of variation to the sound here.
Yeah, we got certified tension.
Right? It's like, it's a little ear candy. And then this one, at the end, it is also adding a little bit of variation to the sound. So if you can be strategic, then you can answer this question. Okay, what is the purpose of the sound that I have?
I'ma try my technique. We got a certified weapon pointed in my direction.
This one is, again, this is like a little ear candy, a little like melody on top, because the vocal, I want the vocal to be like in the center of attention. So again, if you can answer those questions, then like adding sounds and like really understanding arrangement is super easy. And then one sound can serve multiple purposes, right? So here, if we take this bass line, right, then you can see that it helps to transition. Right, you can see how much impact and how much like variation and like overall just makes it a little bit more interesting. Without this one, it's a little bit too empty, right? So again, to summarize, be intentional, move the track forward, add variations every like 8 bars, something should happen, something little, again. If we take this, let's take those percussions. I'm not changing the drop completely. I'm just working with the key elements, which is going to be the groove and the rhythm. So if you take this, it's a completely different energy if we play like this. Right, very different. It adds a lot of energy to the verse, and I don't have to add a new lead sound to it. It's just like, hey, just drums, percussion, even micro things, guys. It adds a lot of variation to your sound. And the last thing, energy flow in the track. I made like videos. Gonna link all the videos here that I want you to watch. So in this example, I'm teasing the main theme of the track and then taking it out. This creates open loop and makes the listener curious about what's going to come next. Pay attention to the automation. It's the best way to introduce energy and variation, especially if the track is really minimal, what I suggest you to do. See how I'm opening the filter before the drop to create tension. So we can take a look at the automation here, for example. Take this and have a look at how many things I'm automating. So I'm automating the cutoff of the synth, I'm automating another filter, and I'm automating the reverb here. Listen. This creates so much movement, so much tension. If you're lacking tension, like if your track is too static, it is boring. So focus on the automation. I want you, by the end of this video, understand is you have to nail, you have to master and make your elements sound perfect. The elements that you have. So it is not about adding a lot of sound, it is about making this one element like reaching its potential. So it sounds like amazing, it sounds interesting, and so on, right? And same with the vocal. Although the track is not like fully finished, like again, you can also see that I'm automating the vocal. Same goes to the filter on the kick and the bass here, right? So I'm going up, right? So you really need to understand the interaction between the elements, right? Because if you're focusing on one, if it has a lot of low end, it means that you need to take out the rest of the low end in other tracks. If you need help with your music and you want to work with me one-on-one, check the links in the description and I will be happy to help you with taking your music production skills to the next level. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.